Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to talk about the secret genius hack that will guarantee that you land that job with the six-figure salary. Let's get down to it. I noticed that in the analytics, most of you, 90% and above, don't go beyond the 3-minute mark. So I'm going to make sure I give you the meat of the content right away in the first few minutes. And there's actually 4, but I'll start with this one. And if you exit after this one, you should be good. So you just need to apply this first one. But if you can stay and watch the next 3 so that you have all the 4 hacks, there's a bigger chance that you land that job. So let's get down to it. The first one, the secret genius hack that will guarantee that you land that job with a 6-figure salary, that secret hack is energy. It's energy, folks. All you need to do is exude energy. You gotta show that you want the job, that you're eager to get this job. I can't tell you the number of times I've done interviews for applicants where they show up late and they don't even look like they really want that job. You know, they don't speak up, they don't answer they don't have any questions. And just generally, you can see from their face, from their voice, from their body language, that they don't really want this job or they're not really interested in this job. So why would you give it to somebody who looks like they don't want it? So when you show up, make sure it's obvious that you want this job. Now, how exactly can you do this? And there's 2 ways you can do this, and I'm gonna tell you what those 2 things are. First of all, like I said, it's the voice. With your voice, there's 2 ways you can exude energy. It's either you increase your volume, so you talk louder, or you talk faster, right? Volume times speed is equals to energy. But if you have to choose between those 2, go for volume. So increase the decibel level of how you talk so that you can convey energy or that you can exude energy in your interview, whether it's on the phone, whether it's on a Zoom call or a video call, or whether it's in person. Now, the second thing is your body language. You have to show that you want it, right? So stand up straight or sit up straight. And even in your gestures and in how you try to convey your thoughts when undergoing an interview, you show them that you're energetic, that you're enthusiastic, you're dynamic, you're reliable, you're dependable. And you know why? And why energy also is important, and that's the main thing that people are looking for. It guarantees that you're gonna show up on time. You're gonna be able to last the whole workday, and then you're gonna be able to do it 5 days a week, day in and day out. You're reliable, you're dependable, you're less likely to call in sick, and you know that you will energize the entire team, or if not the entire company, or at least the immediate people in your vicinity that you're gonna work with. And that's important. There's a really great quote that I got from Kevin Kelly's book. He came out with a book of quotes recently, and one of the quotes that really caught my attention was, "Enthusiasm increases your IQ points by 25. Enthusiasm increases your IQ by 25. When you're encountering someone, when you're interacting with someone who shows that they're eager, that they have the energy, it almost makes them smarter or makes them look like they're smarter. So you have to show that in the interview. You have to show that you're energetic, that you want it. Now is not the time to be laconic or lethargic. You want to be Tigger instead of Eeyore. You want to be Tasmanian Devil or Speedy Gonzalez instead of Slowpoke Rodriguez. And to take that even further, you want to be Elmo instead of Telly. That's if you need an image to convey energy or to help you understand this concept of showing up energetic and enthusiastic. Use those. Another thing why energy is important is it shows that you will go into work with new ideas, with fresh approaches to how things are going to be solved or addressed, and that you're going to be consistent in doing that. And you need a lot of energy to do that. Now, what happens if you're naturally not energetic? You can sustain it, or you can at least start it for 30 minutes to 1 hour. All you have to do is show the interviewer or the first line of interviewers that you can do it. So you can muster it for 30 minutes to 1 hour, and that should be enough to help you cross the line, whether it's the next line of interviews, or whether it's the final interview, or whether it's the job itself. Now, what's another thing you can do to help you muster that up? And I read this from Richard Branson, the founder, CEO of Virgin. An interviewer asked him once, like, in the shortest amount of words, can you tell us the secret to your success? So they were probably asking for like a sentence or something like that to increase productivity or to guarantee success. And his answer blew me away, and it really consisted just of 2 words. In 2 words, he was able to sum it up on how he continues to be successful and how he continues to be productive. And those 2 words, the same way that I'm telling you, it's 1 word that will be the secret hack to landing that job with the 6-figure salary. 2 words: work out. Work out. And this applies to dating as well, or to relationships. Before you go on that, if you tell me in the comments, I'll show you in a different episode. We'll talk about how you can succeed at dating and relationships as well. But for the purpose of this, work out. Work out before that interview, or before that big day whether you have to go up to the office and meet with them in person. And everybody's body chemistry is different, right? There are some where after working out 30 minutes after, that's when they feel the endorphin rush. So figure out a few days in advance what your peaks are. So let's say the interview is at 2 p.m. and you find out if you work out at 12 o'clock, you peak at that time. So figure out what that is. So whether you need to go for a run, or lift some weights, or go for a swim, or whatever it is that's comfortable for you in terms of working out, do that before the interview so that your energy peaks. So don't do anything artificial like, taking coffee or, ingesting something to be energetic. You don't want nervous energy. You want the kind of energy that's positive, that's natural, that's organic, and it'll come out in how you talk, how you look them in the eye, how your actions, or how you move, or how you gesture or gesticulate, and generally how you carry yourself. I've been in a lot of, not just in job interviews or in companies, but even with dates, like I told you, I've been very successful in that area. And almost always the people who I've had these interactions with, they always tell me, it's your energy that won me over. You're not necessarily the most attractive person. You're not necessarily the smartest guy in the room with all the answers to everything, but you have good energy. I like your enthusiasm. I like how you talk and how you energize the people around you, how you radiate this positive energy. And that affects everyone. It affects the mood and the general disposition of everybody when you show up and you're energetic. So that's it. That's the secret. That's the number 1 hack to landing that job with the 6-figure salary. Energy. Another thing, so we were talking about working out, right? Because I was telling you about how you could actually muster that energy. The other thing, going back to the voice, or how you talk, or how you increase your volume. The one thing where I really learned how to project energy was theater. Yes, theater, live theater. I think the one thing that I really learned from school and from going to school was the opportunity to be in a theater group or to perform in a live play. I think that's the most important thing that I picked up from school, and I've been able to use it not only for interviews but also when I'm in the job already and I need to present something or to communicate something to a big group, whether it's a team or a department. Having experience in live theater or performing on stage in front of hundreds of people is that confidence to communicate. Yeah, I would say if you have experience in theater or if you've done theater in the past, you can do anything. You can conquer the corporate world if you have that experience solely from confidence and how you carry yourself and how you communicate. Now, what if you don't have that experience? The best thing you can do is observe. Like, you can go on YouTube or you can go on an actual show and watch those Broadway musicals on YouTube or even in a live performance. You can just see how they they throw their voice, or how they expand their expressions, and how they use their hands and their actions to make what they're trying to communicate bigger than what it needs to be or what it normally is. Because in live theater, if you've ever done it, they will teach you need to project your voice to the last person in the bleachers, like in the orchestra or in the the farthest section of the theater. They need to hear your voice, whether you're using microphones or not. They need to see that you're batting your eyes, or that and they can hear what you're saying. So live theater is the best training to exude or to really be energetic, project. And that's the secret. That's the secret. Your voice and your body, or your body language. You can achieve that by, like I said, working out, but also observing how theater actors do it. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, and you can see how they enunciate their words and how they use their facial expressions to convey emotion. And you can use that. You can channel that in the corporate world or in the professional world, so that you will appear confident and energetic, and people will want to hire you and people will want to work with you, regardless of your skill level or your intelligence. All of that you can learn, especially now with the internet. You can look up anything, but do you have the energy to keep that up and to keep learning day in, day out, hour in, hour out? Because it's a different world out there now. Everything's changing. You need to have the stamina to be able to do it. Like I said, from Kevin Kelly's book, and I quote, "Enthusiasm adds 25 points to your IQ." Now, I did say that was the first one. There's three more, because there's 4 total, right? So that's the first one. The first one, energy. Gotta have it. The second one, and here's where we get to the nitty-gritty of things. So if you just take away the energy part and you exit the video or you log off, you should be fine. You should be okay. These are bonuses. These are extras. The next 3 tips you can use will be gravy, or will be extra. The second hack in this secret genius hack to landing that job with a 6-figure salary, the second one is look up the person who's going to interview you. Research that person. And I'm not talking about the role or the company or the product or the service. The person directly, the person who's directly going to interview you, or the panel who's going to interview you. Do your research on them. Do your homework. And the easiest way to do this is LinkedIn, of course, so you can see their professional experience and where they went to the university and what organizations they are in or who they follow and whatnot. There's a reason why the recruiter or the person from HR gives you the name of the person who's going to interview you is so that you can research on them. So do your research, but more importantly, more than finding out what their function is, where else they worked, how long they have been with the company, or where they studied. More than that, once you have the name, go to their Instagram, go to their Twitter, Google them, go to their Facebook, or whatever else there is in the internet where there's information about them. Look for a common interest. I'll give you a specific example. When I interviewed maybe a couple of jobs before this one that I had, or that I currently have, I brought up in the conversation something about Star Wars. Something about Star Wars. Very innocent, right? I brought it up, and the interviewer was like, "Oh, hold on there. Let's take it back a couple of steps. You said you like Star Wars. What did you think of this episode of The Mandalorian?" So I caught his attention, I caught his interest, and that's more important than anything, because, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. You will be working with this person 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. You will spend a big part of your time or your day in the office, and you can't be talking about work all the time. They need to see, or they want to see, that they can talk to you about other things outside of work, and then that relationship and that communication will be pleasant and will be positive. So look them up, see if they're interested in tennis, golf, swimming, what books or movies they consume, if they have a family, and so on and so forth. And somehow, very innocently, try to inject that in the conversation. And don't be too direct about it. Like, if you're going to use a business example, and use that interest that they have as an example. So say something like, so if you want to play golf, or if you want to go swimming, they'll catch on that. And then the following questions will be about that. So make sure you research the person or the persons that are going to interview you, and find a common interest. Find something that you can latch a conversation onto, and try to inject that in the conversation during the interview. You will become more memorable for it, and they'll know, oh, if I hire this person, we would have other things we can talk about outside of the work that needs to be done. So that's number 2. Together with number 2 also is, when you do look them up on LinkedIn, you'll see that you would have mutual connections. People you may have worked with in the past that they also are connected with. You can go and ask that person directly, "Hey Frank, I see you've worked with Lindsay before. What was she like? What does she how does she operate in a corporate setting? What is she into? How can I impress him or her during the interview?" And they'll give you that feedback. They'll give you their work style or their managing style, or at least give you a clue on that. So that's number 2. Do your research on the person or the persons who are going to interview, not necessarily from a professional context, but a very personal context, so that you can include that in the conversation, so that they can see, oh, there's something that I can talk about with this person if I do get them on board, and I'm going to be interacting with him or her for 8 hours a day, or 40 hours in a week, or 5 days a week, right? So, and then they'll know also that you have other interests outside of the function of the job, and that increases your impression of being creative as well. You have ways, or you have other channels where you're going to get your ideas from. Very important. That's why have hobbies, have outside interests have interests outside of the work that you're doing. So that's number 2. So like I said, energy. And then number 2, research the person who's going to interview you. Let's go to the number 3 hack out of this secret hack that will help you land that job with a 6-figure salary. The third one, and I am surprised that almost nobody actually does this. The third one is patronize the service or the product that this company you're interviewing for produces. If they are a mobile app, download the app. If they are an e-commerce platform or an e-commerce business, buy something from their shop. And I understand some people are hesitant to spend any money until they actually get the job. But I'm saying, hey, if you're aiming for this $100,000 a year job, the least you can do is spend, and what is that? $100 to do your research on the actual product or service itself. So whether it's you have to sign up for a subscription so that you know how the service works, or if you have to buy an actual product, give yourself a budget. And 100 out of 100,000, that's like 0.1. Because 10% is 10,000, 1% is 1,000, 100 is 0.1%. So spend 0.1 of what you could potentially gain as an annual salary to do your research on the product or the service that this company is actually offering. And there are ways where sometimes it doesn't even have to be an investment or a cash outlay on your part. You can call their customer service number, or you can call to apply for the service just to see what the process is like. So go through it. And you will gain so much insight, and you'll have so much your questions will be so much better once you've actually availed of the service or the product that they're offering. So yeah, number 3, actually patronize the product or service that this company you're applying to is offering. You will gain a wealth of insights into how the business is going, how they sell their product. And you can talk about that in their interview. There's so much more that you can talk about. Another example of this, and I'm really surprised that nobody does, or almost nobody does this. If they are a physical business or a retail business, for example, actually visit the store. Go to the store. You know what? And this is the other thing I've noticed. The farther the store is, the better. And you mentioned that in the interview where you say, oh yeah, I visited your Orange County location. Or if you're living in LA, say, oh yeah, I visited this location, which was kind of out of the way. But I wanted to see how it was in that particular address. Mention that in your interview. They will appreciate it. They will appreciate it so much, wherein, hey, this person was willing to go the extra mile to do their research and to actually touch and experience the business or the service or the product that they're offering. And yeah, there's a wealth of insights that can be gained by doing that. Interact with the salespeople, touch the product, look at how the layout of the store is. And then when you talk about that in your interview, this is very important. Be very careful that you don't comment on it in a negative way. Don't criticize anything. Always be positive. Part of being energetic is being positive, right? If you can't do that, just highlight what you thought was really good about your experience and leave the bad stuff up, because you never know in the panel of people you're going to be interviewing or the person you're talking to, you never know who owns that project or who owns that location or who owns that particular campaign. They might have a personal stake in it, and you might be insulting the wrong person or hurting the wrong person's feelings. So just remain positive in your comments about the product or the service when you do patronize the company. Which brings us to number 4. Like I said, there's 4 of this, right? And now I wanted a little caveat at this point before I go to the 4th one, or the last one. Little caveat in the sense that this assumes already that you have one foot in the door, meaning you already have the interview. You've been screened. So we're not going to talk about your resume or your LinkedIn profile or how you appear. But if you do want that content, how to get to the first interview, please mention it in the comments, and I'll create a different video for that. This whole thing is about you've already scored the interview and you're going to show up for the first interview already. You've been vetted out of hundreds of applicants or dozens of applicants, and you're actually like maybe the last 4 or the last 3 candidates, and it's just a matter of bringing it home. The first 3 ones that I told you will definitely give you a leg up from other candidates. Like I told you, I was surprised the number of people who show up to interviews and they look like Eeyore. Like they don't really want a job, nor do they want this particular job. They're late. Their voice doesn't sound like they want it. They don't have the energy. You already have a leg up. Number 2, you did your research on the person. You already have another leg up compared to the other person because they didn't do that. And then the third one is you actually availed of the product or the service that you're running, and you had a budget. You spent $100 if you want that 100,000 salary, or $140 if it's $140,000 a year job. And I guarantee you the other person didn't do it. And who are you going to hire, right? Who will you hire? They will hire that person who goes the extra mile. Number 4, and the last one, and if you're still here, congratulations. You're really serious about landing that 6-figure job, or that job with the 6-figure salary. Number 4, after you've done all of that, this is when you do, this is what other people do, right? Like just the basic. Number 4 is research on the company. This is when you do, after you've done all those 3, research the actual company. Now, how can you differentiate yourselves from other people who look up the company, right? More than just going to the website, more than just going to their Wikipedia, what you can do is you can, and if this is a job that is a 6-figure salary, more often than not, this company is listed or is public. Go to their stock page or look up their stock price, or better yet, invest or buy a stock in the company. Shouldn't cost you a lot too. You can use any of these apps where you can buy stocks. But the good thing is you know the stock price and you know the fluctuations. But also within those platforms, more often than not, they do have articles about new product launches, new mergers, new partnerships, new acquisitions, leadership changes, and other things that are coming up in the pipeline. There's a number of articles that will, if you do that, if you invest in the stock, it will lead you down a path of specific things about the company that goes beyond what's in the website or in the Wikipedia article. And then also you can watch a number of YouTube videos about the CEO or the leadership in the company. Just a warning though, when you do that, please be mindful or cognizant of how old the content you're consuming is. Make sure it's very recent, no more than the last 3 months, so that you know that your news is fresh and that it's up to date and that you know it's relevant. Don't read something from 11 years ago. That's not gonna matter on the interview that you're having tomorrow or whenever. So make sure the news that you're consuming is relevant, it's timely, it's recent, and that it will be applicable to the present time and in the next few months when you do get that job. So there you have it. 4 hacks, 4 secret genius hacks that will guarantee that you land that job you've always wanted with a 6-figure salary. To summarize or to sum it up, number 1, energy. Number 2, research on the person who's going to do the interview or who's going to interview you. Find a common interest that you can talk about. Slip that into the conversation somewhere so that you will be more likable and that they'll know they'll have something to talk to you about outside of the work that needs to be done. Number 3, patronize the service or the product that the company is offering. Pay money for it, experience it, interact with it, go to the location, and then bring that up in the interview. Keep it positive when you comment about it, but it shows that you go the extra mile and that you're actually learning about what you're gonna sell when you join that company. And the fourth and last secret hack: research the company, but go deeper than just their website or their Wikipedia page. Go to their stock, go to the stock page, or invest in their stocks, so you will have like more information that's, again, like I said, has to be timely, relevant, recent, up to date, so that it's applicable to the present time and in the next few months when you join the company. There you have it. That's our episode for today. I wanted to save this last part. You know how every video I give you an update on the channel or how the previous videos have performed. I'm very happy. The second video got a whopping 66 views as of this counting, or as of today. Not much for anybody else, but for me, it's huge. 66 videos. The first one had 24 views. So this is like a 300% jump, almost a 300% jump from the first one. It got 2 likes, the same as the first video. But more importantly, I gained 4 subscribers. So from 191, I jumped to 195. So I have 195 subscribers now. That's so encouraging. And so, so encouraging for me. I know there's some people out there who thought the content was good enough that, hey, I want to subscribe because I want to see what he's going to say next time. So that's really very encouraging. And this is the first time that a huge increase happened since I started this. Before, I would usually get my friends or my family members to subscribe to it. And this time it's really organic. I've never seen a huge skip or a huge jump from 0 subscribers to 4. So I am ecstatic over that. Thank you so much. Please, like I said, comments is the new currency in social media, or maybe it's always been the currency. Please comment more than liking, and more than, like I told you, I got 2 likes. More than the likes and anything, please comment. And that's really the one that exposes the content to more people. When Google or YouTube sees that, oh, people are commenting on this, we need to show this to more people. And also, by the way, I forgot, I discovered that the most important metric in YouTube videos is the impression, share, click through. And the previous video had a 1 impression, share, click through, as compared to the previous one, which only had like 0.20 impression, click through. I know I geek out over these numbers because I am a digital marketing manager by profession, and those are the things that are important to me. So very happy with the 66 views, the 2 likes, but more importantly, the impression, click through, or the impression, share, click through. I know 1 is nothing to write home about in the greater YouTube world, but it would be nice if it was at a 3 or 5 or even a 6 and a 7. But yeah, the 1 is a huge leap from the 0.2, which tells me more people are watching, more people are clicking on it. So I'm just going to improve on that, but I need your help. I need your help. I need you to tell me what's good, what's not in the comments. If there's any particular topic you want me to talk about, bring it up in the comments. And yeah, like I said, I'm doing this to reach 1,000 subscribers. I got a long way to go, so that I can monetize the vlog. And more importantly, the money I would earn from this, I would use, I promise, to help people who need it. And just not to buy nice things or what have you. I really want to be able to use what I know, the experience that I have, to help people with the content. But if I'm gonna earn $1 from this, I would love to be able to use a portion of that to help people out there. So please help me in this journey. I promise I'm gonna be transparent, so that you'll be part of the journey and you'll know, oh, there was a time we were talking about 66 views and now whatever. Help me get there. So yeah, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and more importantly, give me your comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.